Good morning. How we doing this morning? Hopefully you're having a fantastic morning. It's been a fantastic weekend. We're getting right into it Monday morning. So grab your coffee, grab your pen and paper, because we're going to be doing some good stuff today. My wife was looking at me. Today's going to be a blessed day. The Bible says today is the day that the Lord has made. Today is that day. Even with no news, it's still going to be a great day today. How are you guys doing this morning? Did you guys have a good weekend? Did you guys do anything fun? What'd you guys do? How'd you do? How are you guys doing? We're going to be getting going. I'll be going over a higher time frame analysis since it is Monday. The only thing is this candle did run these highs right here and right here. So when we run those highs, we have opportunity for it to drop. 7 a.m. we have right here. So we're pretty jagged. We got some pretty jagged price action, which I like. This is relatively equal highs right here. But it's not nothing that stands out too significantly for me. So we got about 8 minutes before the market opens. We're going to zoom out to a week. Let's go down. Let's start with the monthly. The monthly. All right, so this is the monthly candle. We are in, what week are we in? We are officially starting week 2 of the month. So typically week 1 is either accumulation or it's some type of manipulation. It typically can have its own cycle, its own weekly profile. But on the monthly profile, the second week can either be continued consolidation or it could be the manipulation before the larger move, before the move lowered, before the move higher. So when we look at this candle, though, last week was such an exaggerated move that I'm going to look at this week as more of consolidation. When you have in 1 week this amount of price action, I mean, look at these these are full week candles right here, and we had that in 1 week. In 1 week, simply just 1 week. So if we go down to, this is a monthly candle, right? Yeah, monthly candle. So when we go down to the weekly, you will see this candle right here being last week's candle. This could be viewed as accumulation because of where the bodies are. You also could potentially see it as manipulation. If it is the manipulation, this could move higher. I don't think we're going to move higher. I think we're going to play in this weekly fair value gap sitting right here. So if this is accumulation, this level could be manipulation. And if we look at this as manipulation, we see coming up into this weekly profile, weekly fair value gap, with a potential continuation lower. And the main reason why I like that is we got these obvious weekly lows. We got these lows right here. Equal lows, in fact. That this will not remain. This will be ran. Good morning, prayerful trader. These will be ran on at some time. whether it's this week, I really do believe it will be this month. We just have to wait and see. So knowing that we reached all the way down here first, I think we're going to reach up into this weekly fair value gap. Let's drop down to the daily and let's look at this. I have on here the new day opening gaps and the new week opening gaps. Here are our new week opening gaps sitting up here. These will remain on my chart for 2 to 3 weeks. I will eventually move these. The only reason I'm leaving this one down here is because it's the low. There's nothing beneath this. And then this one right here was a pretty significant gap in price action. And when you have gaps in price action, price likes to go back down and fill those. So they're just going to stay on the market, stay on the charts for right now. It's kind of out of the way. We're kind of messing around up here. We are in this daily fair value gap right now. And the daily fair value gap sits right here. And we are in premium of the daily time frame, wicking into this weekly SIBI, or this weekly fair value gap. I want to watch, let me mark this. I want to watch this level. I want to make that black because it's just easier to see. I want to watch the consequent encroachment of this weekly fair value gap. I want to see if price is going, if the bodies are going to respect this level, if the wicks are going to expect this level, if we wick high above it but close below it. I'm looking this as one of my confluences that I want to see price react with. We also have these equal highs, so I do believe price is going to wick above that. We now have, it's not even the open, but we have quite a bit of a reaction right here. We're inside a lot of up and down price action. This is choppy. I'm not interested in this. I want it to get out of it before I consider anything right now. So we have the daily right here. We have a daily order block that's sitting above the breaker, and the breaker is sitting over here. The breaker is anchored to a 4-hour. We could also put it on the daily, which if we do that, it doesn't matter where it's at. We just want the general area. I'm not going short based on it. I'm looking at it as a form of resistance. A place where price may want to change direction. So I am bullish this week, looking for price to come up into these levels this week. Let's drop down to the 4-hour here. And as you can see, we start seeing some structure. We have this balanced price range, a fair value gap, a SIBI down to the downside, and a BISI to the upside, creating a balanced price range. Fair value gap overlapping fair value gap. You can see how we came down into it and bounced from there. From this reaction, I expect a reaction higher. However, we will have to see what kind of price action we're going to get on a Monday with no news. I'm expecting, it's better to expect crap price action and be surprised when you get great price action. The other thing with the price action today, I will be downsizing. I reviewed my trades from last week, and the mistakes that I believe that I've made was not respecting no news days. I need to respect those and be more cautious in those instead of just assuming I can trade any type of market. That's the mistake. That's my takeaway from last week. So we're going to watch price action here, and we're still working our way down. If we inverse this, this is probably a trade idea right here. But it already hit the high, so it already took out the idea. Okay, we already took out the high. And with no news, it may continue, it may come back down. I'm not going to play with it. I made that mistake last week, and I will not make it again, and I will be disciplined. Right there. This right here, folks. That right there tells me potential warning, 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 bad price action to come. Please keep your hands inside the moving vehicle so you don't get slapped in the face, because that's what happened right there. All right, we're about ready. I still do have an eval account that I told the stream on Thursday that we would probably trade and look to pass. I'm sitting up like $800, $900, so we're about $2,000 away. I think we're about $2,000 away from passing that. So we'll look at doing that today, most likely. Actually, no. I'm at 5,100, so I have $1,500 left. 1,500 is what we need to pass the eval account. Looks like a VWAP open. I don't use VWAP, Prayerful Trader. I know some other traders do. Watching that 4-hour SIBI. Yeah, so jumping back up to the 4-hour here. Are you looking at this 4-hour SIBI right here as a bullish order block? Is that what how you're considering that? Because that would bring us down to, let's see. That would give us down to this range. That's not bad. We'd run these relatively equal lows here from this morning. We would run the AM. This is the London session hitting the new week opening gap. We might run this initially, guys. If we put on regular trading hours, we're going to see a gap right here. So there's the gap. If we get some type of inversion setup, breaker setup from right here to the lows, I'll take it. But right now, we don't have anything. We just have solid bars. So this is not price action I want to play. And if it chooses to drop right now, it can absolutely, and it is completely welcome to go without me. On the 1 hour here, this is set up for a low resistance liquidity run. I just need some type of setup to give me to take this run to these new week opening gaps. I would like to play to the downside first. We just swept the top. I'm gonna view a move lower as manipulation. Okay, I'm gonna view a move lower as manipulation potentially. I do think our move is to the upside, but we just need to find out when it's going to be. We have some equal lows right here. And then let's drop down to the 15-minute. And we just got a bunch of liquidity sitting right here. This is the only candle at 3:15 this morning that kind of swept these equal lows. That would have been a beautiful play for the London session. That's like a textbook jump in, grab your money, and get out session right there. That would have been beautiful. Yeah, if we did that interstellar, that means we have a downside move, and right away I'd be interested in that downside move. I want to see. It would be nice if we grab this high again, and from this high we start running to fill this area down here. So this is just buy side liquidity sitting right below the weekly fair value gap. And I want to see it touch this anyway, because we are now in the New York session. Oops, that's a high. But as you can see, we really don't have any type of clear structure or fair value gaps. So I want to see some fair value gaps form. So we need this either to pump or drop, one or the other. So 15-minute doesn't have anything clear right here. Really, the price leg, what we're working with is right here. So we're sitting right at equilibrium right now. That's equilibrium. So 50% right here. We're in discount for a move higher. I would like to get up into premium or extreme premium right up here. Actually, no, that's not our high. That's our price leg. So because of that, I'm going to actually take this price leg here. We're more in premium. So I would like us to run and grab these highs and then run lower for this liquidity here. This low resistance liquidity. That's to me the obvious play. We just need to wait for a setup to give us that opportunity. And let's drop down to the 5-minute. I mean, I could make something up here, guys. I could point out stuff in here, but really I don't think it's important. The only one that's important right here is this 5-minute right there that I see of any type of significance. If we close below this on a 5-minute, we should run these lows and potentially these equal lows down here. That's what I would be looking for. I would not be trying to hold for these equal lows with a full account. We got these new week opening gaps. You will absolutely want to take size off there. So viewing electronic trading hours, our last fair value gap on the 1-minute sits right here. So we'll mark that as well. It overlaps with this 5-minute a little bit. Okay, so what do I want? I would, if both the 5-minute and the 1-minute close below this, that should run us to these lows here. That would be about 20 handles. And that can be a trade. We got 21 seconds. We'll see what happens. Both the 5-minute and the 1-minute will be closing at the same time on this candle. So I think that is worth watching or maybe even trading. Okay, so no close on either of them. We closed in the 5-minute and we closed in the 1-minute. So that there removes my option. What this does give me though is if we wick lower on the 5-minute, we could see a move to the highs again. But I really like this move to the downside. It's just not an opportunity. You could view this as a breaker entry right here, but I'm not going to do that. Or maybe I'll do it on an eval account. Good morning, DDT. How you doing? All right, so there's our move working in that direction. I really wanted it to close below the 5 minute. That would have gave me more confidence. It didn't. So, no opportunity. We did leave these equal highs here, though. What is that? We did leave these equal highs sitting right here. So, I think we might be coming back for them. I wouldn't have wanted to go short anyway with these equal highs here. All right, so we grabbed that low. In discount now, or in the new week opening gap, that's filling. We want to see how this reacts here. I think we could still reach down here for these equal lows. Right there. And based on how aggressive and heavy this is, it might move lower. Unless we wick higher here. Okay, we closed right on the low of the new week opening gap. Let's look at this. I really want this to pull this, hit this level right here. I really want that to hit. We just covered up. We did an immediate rebalance right here. Okay, there's our stab at the equal lows. Do we got anything further? We got this wick down here sitting right at the open of the day. I mean, honestly, the next thing here, guys, is the swing low right down here next to last week's new week opening gap. So we could see this drop. If we leave this open right here, that's going to be telling. I'm still seeing this as manipulation, guys. I do want higher prices. I'm okay with large drop in the morning, this morning. Give me a setup for 10 o'clock to the upside. I'll take it. But right around here, there's nothing. If we start turning the other direction, I wouldn't like that. I mean, I shouldn't say that exactly. We did run this low. So for a change in state of delivery, I want to see that on the 5-minute. It would need to close above this level right here for running these equal lows. Or we could grab this low down here and tag this new week opening gap and then move higher, and I would appreciate that a little bit more. We're just about to equilibrium on this price range. Alkai, how you doing, my friend? What's happening? You have a good week? Same with you, DDT. You have a good week? Or good weekend, I should say. It's raining outside right now. You know what? Last week was such a beautiful week. Sunny, it was warm. And then, boom, it's cold and rainy. It's like fall came in a matter of a day. It's still summertime. We still got like a month before fall. Wilhelm, how you doing, man? Okay, so this inversion right here, what do we target? There's nothing here. There's nothing to target here. I would not be taking this. Now, what I would like to see is something like this. Something like that. That's what I'd be interested in. You could also play off this. You could also, I'm assuming this is a breaker. So a bullish breaker, so we have a lower move. If we just continue, if we just change directions right now, that's insane. It's not insane. I've seen crazier things, but that's what I would be looking for right now, for me personally. So we tag this new week opening gap low. Let's see if we drop a little bit lower. I would be interested in something like this to the downside, potentially. If there's aggression, depending on where this candle closes in 20 seconds. If it closes it up, it just removes that option completely for us. Which city? We are in Nebraska. We are in Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska. All right, so there is our potential fair value gap to the downside. I would be open to trading this depending on what the candle looks like. I always look at this as a fake move higher. This could not run in these lows, so we want an option to move our stop to break even fairly quickly here if we look at this as a move, which there isn't, so it's going to be subjective. But I like the 30-second and the 1 minute overlap with each other. It'd be something like that. Miami. Yeah, I bet. We're not even going to mention that. If we close above this 30-second, there's a chance we could run these highs again. But I don't want to see that quite yet. That's more likely now. Now that we had some type of retracement, we hit this. If we make this into an order block and close above this, we just don't have an upside target. This is the downside to having this fair value gap here. And we don't even really have a breaker. So there's really not an upside move that I can play off of right now. I need more structure. I need more structure for an upside move to play. And there isn't anything right now. Last week it was really hot. It was like 100 degrees last week. Your body gets so used to it that when it drops down to like 70, 60 degrees, it feels freezing. All right, 5 minutes till 10 o'clock. We're in the macro time. There's opportunities here. We just need to see the clear direction. So a close below this, especially with this swing low, you would want to move your stop to break even almost immediately. So if we close in 20 seconds, depending on where we're at, you're going to have to make a judgment call if you want to take this short or not. we're going to
order submitted.
and that's our low right there. We're going to sell it there.
Order canceled.
All right, we took a short there for 15 handles, hit the low. I got my 15 handles and got out. You guys saw that there on that wasn't a micro play. I thought I was on micros and copied, but it was on normal mini contract. So took that trade for 15 handles, got a win there. Now, if you are still holding this trade, your stop would be at break even right now. If we come back and hit that level, you're out. Or whatever your entry was. Your entry technically would have been like right there. And it looks like we'll probably get stabbed out. Okay, so you'd still be in this trade for a move lower potentially. But your stop's at break even. Your next target, it honestly would be this new week opening gap right here at 30 handles, 39 handles. Now that we made a lower low, we can look at a potential long. We're getting more structure now. That gives us the opportunity for a long. But right now we're still looking for this low here because, I mean, it's still moving lower. All right, so there's your stop out at break even. 15 handle win on this bearish inversion fair value gap. Now that we hit that low, I'm watching this 1 minute right here. Let's see if there's a better on the 30-second. There's nothing good on the 30-second. I'm not sold on this. We really didn't hit anything here. We made we're close to this low that's down here from the open. So we're close to that low, and it's so close to this new week opening gap. I at this point, any short-term move is invalid in my opinion when we have this right here. The only way I'm willing to take a long with this still intact and not taken is if we have displacement. And a displacement candle would be a close above this candle on the 5-minute. So we would need to close above this candle on the 5-minute, showing me that we are bullish. And then I would look for a breaker from here. But because of how close we are, I don't want to do any type of short-term plays that could actually ruin my account or take a loss now that I have a win. So this could work right here. And if it does, great. I want it to close above this level right here, which would be a change in state of delivery on the 5 minutes. So it needs to have a 5-minute close right there. The 5-minute candle needs to close above that. If we close above it, I need to see fair value gaps in this leg. If I don't see any fair value gaps in this leg, then I change my opinion. I need to see space. I need to see fair value gaps for them. And then I would look at going long when we come back down into these fair value gaps. So this fair value gap's been used. Not really a fan of all the price action so far. This didn't close above it. This one did. Too high. You would have had to hell through this drawdown. It's a valid trade. Your target would be up here. But you would be long right here. Your stop would be here if we close below that. And your target is sitting right here. I just didn't like how it was approaching it. So, and we have this level down here. So we have this swing low sitting down here that doesn't have to be ran, but because of how close we are, I'm going to question any bullish move for basically manipulation for a continuation down. I am only wanting to look at a large close. We did not close above this change in state of delivery, this 5-minute order block. We did not make this a 5-minute order block yet. So that changes, it doesn't give us many options here. And even on this candle right here, we still got 4 minutes left on this candle. So any type of move, I still need to wait. I want to wait for the 5 minutes close. If we are aggressive, we have this 2-minute fair value gap sitting right here. It's the last fair value gap before these equal highs. I would consider this. And then also, I would consider this breaker right here. How does that breaker look on the 1 minute though? Yeah, I would consider this breaker on the 1 minute. But I want the 5 minute to close first. We still got 3 minutes left on that candle. So it can hang out around here, wick lower, be aggressive down into this area, and I would be interested in that. don't like that. This could just be a quick breaker. Might not be either. Just giving out some targets here. The 15-minute candle also is going to close in 6 minutes. If we close above this and we make this into a BPR, that would be very bullish. In line with what I have communicated. All right. I like these fair value gaps sitting right here. In this price leg. So I do not want to go long anywhere here. I honestly want to wait for some type of retracement. Is there a better move here? The 2-minute looked nice, but 30-second didn't look nice. Okay. I honestly don't want it to close right now. I don't want, I mean, you have 5, 6 green candles in a row. Okay, I'm glad it didn't close, to be honest. Because that, I mean, it's a good trade, but I just don't like all these candles. I'd rather see some type of retracement down here than to move higher. If it gives me a retracement here, gives me a 1-minute bullish, 2-minute bullish order block here, and then closes above this, I would love that. I would love that. But I want to see some type of order block put in here first. That's too small. Five-minute closed above. So we do have a change in state of delivery. This I'm not concerned about anymore. That's now irrelevant for me. I'm now looking for opportunities to go long because we do have a change in state of delivery. Ideally, I would love for it to come back down here. This is 50%. So from this low to this high, this is 50% right here. So this is a nice level to consider. We just have these two, this low and high of the new week opening gap. The price could actually stop prematurely to this breaker, the body of this breaker right here. And on the 1 minute, there's not an entry here. There's just a breaker, a bearish breaker, but I like these equal highs. I just wanted something more obvious here that gives me a chance to get in. Sitting here on the 2-minute. I like the way these candles look on the 2-minute. The 3-minute, we did close above this 3-minute, but there's a little something there. Yeah. We put in this 2-minute order block. If we close above here and we're not too high extended, this would be, I would consider this an A. So a light long. Here's the close. I'm going to take that long on my personal account. Looking at these highs sitting, so I'm long about right there. I'm looking at that, so it's about 20 handles. I'm going to have a hard stop loss at this order block. So if we hit the stop loss, I'll be out. It's a 1-to-1 trade. Targeting specifically these equal highs. I'm going to sell one contract and I'm going to hold and see if we get a higher move. That's what I'll be doing. So I have a limit order already set at these highs. And I'm moving my stop to break even right now. And okay, I sold one contract there. I have one contract left. Stop is now at break even here. I'm looking for this high. Basically, we're going to look for this high right here to be hit. We want to see this body close above. We want to see this body close above if we're going to have a continuation higher. So my stop is at 657. 18,657 is where my stop is at. And more than likely we're going to get stopped out here. So my stop is closer to here. There's my break even point right there. All right, so I'm stopped out there for break even. This is why you have to have a stop loss at break even or higher, especially when we hit these highs. I just wanted to see if we had enough momentum to hit this high, and we didn't. So I took a partial there and stopped out in profit for a 20 handle move. Adsy, bro, I feel you. I mean, there's never, ever, ever will be a told you so or anything like that to anybody because, bro, I feel you. I mean, I've lost accounts. I've blown accounts. I've done so many dumb trades. I do still have that eval account that I will be continuing to trade. Let's look at this account here. You like this? Putting another order block, then pushing higher. Let's look on here on the 1 minute. I think there's a nice order block. If you want to play a momentum trade, you could go long after this order block. The only thing is we've already hit these highs and it doesn't have to go higher at all. So I would say that would be a poor trade idea. I don't even know why I suggested it. There will be another one, another idea that comes. Did anybody take that long? Who give me a 1 if you took that long. Give me a 1 if you took this long right here that on the 2 minute that we went in. I got in about a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds before close, so I got in somewhere around here because I was at 47. So my entry was at, was it 47 or 57, I think? Might have been 57. No, that seems too high. No, it might have been 57 because I got stopped out. I got in on the at the close of this one. I got in about right here. Okay. Oh yeah, because this is the 1 minute. Yeah. Did anybody take that? All right. So we also have on the 15 minute this BPR. Okay. So we have now a BPR. What I would be looking for, which it absolutely doesn't have to happen, is I would be looking for this candle or the next, us grabbing this high and coming down into this 15-minute fair value gap, respecting the consequent encroachment sitting right here, and bounce off that and move higher. That would be an ideal scenario that I would like to see. I'm kind of irked a little bit that I got stopped out and now we're pushing back up towards these highs. That would have been nice. So we had the right idea. We got stopped out on this. I knew I had a gut feeling it was going to run that. Now, what do we got? We got these here, guys. These are the equal highs. That's what I wanted to hold for. Actually, I was just going to hold for this high and be content. But if we are going to be aggressive, we're probably running for these equal highs. Well, nice job, Adsy. Yeah, like I said, I will plan on. We got to get out. I got to get above. I got to get out of this little. I've hit a plateau between anywhere from 10 to 20 people on stream. Once we get about to 75 to 100 people, I'll look at starting a Discord. I want there to be enough people in there. For community. I mean, if we have 5-10 people, it's a little too small. And that's why I'm holding off. But then what that will allow me to do is to go live on Discord, and it would be more real time. It's not going to have a 20-second delay on it. If we had a better close above this 2 minute, not a stretched close on this 2 minute, because I literally got ticked out. We could have got, if we got in, if we somewhere down here, it wouldn't have stopped us out and would have still be holding this potentially. All right, so what I want to see happen is us come into this this 1 minute, and I want it to find support right here. If we find support right here, there's a higher probability we're going to run for these equal highs. So I want it to come into this aggressively, but then close above it. That'd be nice. But I really do want to see that come in here. If it doesn't, then we have to treat this as a breakaway gap. If we treat that as a breakaway gap, what that means is we'll probably see price do something like this. We put the equilibrium inside that gap, inside the breakaway gap, and look where it ends. Let's just do that. If we put it right in the middle, look where that ends, right above these equal highs. So this is this. See how we were kind of future proofing this. Breakaway gaps above above price action like this tell us this could be the middle of the move. If you go back and look at price action, you'll see this all the time. If you take equilibrium or one standard deviation above your pull, right, like this, look at where it ends on targets. It's above the equal highs and sitting right above it. This is our target, and I want to find an opportunity to get there. Right on the top right of my screen, you'll always see the time. So this is the 1 minute time frame right now. Yeah, it's pumping right now. We want to see if we're going to respect this order block right there. Order block on the bodies. I really would like it to come into here, find the support, and look for a potential long. These equal highs can then turn into a breaker. It could turn into a bullish breaker right here. So I'm watching this order block as well, seeing how we're going to react to these levels right here. Okay, we wicked into it and closed. Let's see if it wants to hold this or if it wants to continue lower. So we still have red candles. I want to wait till we see some type of green candle that forms in here. That tells me we are wanting to change a 1 minute change in state of delivery. But the bodies are respecting this high right now. The bodies are respecting the high. Okay, here's a 1 minute change in delivery. You could go long here, but you gotta understand there's a risk on it still coming lower. We're basically considering a momentum trade here from this fair value gap back to these highs, potentially even higher. But we've seen it hit these highs 3 times. It could hit it multiple times. We're at only 1032. So there's opportunities for it to still consolidate here. But we're looking at this as a momentum trade to go higher. And based on this candle, I would say it's not a momentum trade. So if you're considering that, this is not a good look. We did put in some equal highs here. Let's see if price wants to push through that. Ideally, what I would like to see is us, when we come down in here, maybe wick down here and then start moving higher, leaving a fair value gap here to go long, or tapping onto this breaker and then giving us a confirmation inversion setup. I think that's really what I would like to see. So it looks as if this initial stab into this fair value gap did work. I am not in this trade. And if you were in that, I mean, you potentially could have grabbed, what, how many? What is, how do I? 25 handles. If you got it from the bottom, which is not very plausible. Probably more like here. 18 handles so far. All right. So hindsight is 2020, isn't it? At least I have it on record. I called this out. I wanted to come down and hit these highs, get into this fair value gap, respect it, and then it moved higher. Hey, history. I'm building history. I'm building chart history here. We running for these babies. Now, I'll call something else out. It wouldn't surprise me if we do this. Bloop. Wouldn't surprise me if we do something like that. We get up right up to there, and then we change directions. Now, I'd probably say that's less than 50% we do that, because this isn't, they're equal highs, but it's not an obvious swing high. The obvious swing highs and lows, they'll do that all the time. It runs up to that really aggressively, stops short of it, and then it starts moving the other direction. So that could be a possibility. And it technically doesn't even have to hit it today if it doesn't want to. Okay, look at the order flow. See how we're respecting this next fair value gap right here? You do have to manage these wicks, but this is telling me we have obviously this order block right here, this high order block. We are running, guys. It's just hard to go long when you're in premium, but this is the target. We would have been wanting down here. I would have been in this trade from, what was it? From here, but this candle just destroyed me. Was it this candle? Yeah, this candle right here. It didn't destroy me. It took my, I sold up here for profit. It stopped my last contract out for break even, and then it moved higher. That would have been nice. So when we look at the concept of order flow at this point, I really would not want this to be touched again. I just dropped a video from ICT. It's on my X. It's on X. Here, I'll drop the link in here, where he talked about reclaimed order blocks, and reclaimed, or not order blocks, reclaimed fair value gaps. Very interesting, and it helps us give order flow. But it's definitely something that I would go watch if you haven't. I just dropped the link in the chat, where he talks about how you can use reclaimed order blocks as order flow, for order flow. So you can see that this wicked below it but closed in it. So if it comes back in here again, you can consider this as a reclaimed fair value gap and look at that. As long as you see the bias to the upside, you could see that as a potential long. Now, we're probably a little overextended, and you wouldn't want to do that here. You would obviously want to do that down here, or over here. But right now, this is where we're looking at. So you could look at this as a potential opportunity. Now, we're coming up into the 11 a.m. macro that's coming up. And we'll see if there's any opportunities here. I think we may actually violate this. I would love to see a violation of this and move higher, just like I wrote out on the charts. It was something like this, I said. It's something like that. Maybe even a little bit lower. Grab these lows right here. And leave me a fair value gap to go long. This is nice. I like this. We're not looking to go short. we obviously want one of these to stay open. Okay, we're looking for, I like this 30-second. I want to see it close above. For potential long. We're in the macro time right now. This did hit a breaker right here. So we could see it push lower, but I'm not interested in lower prices right now. I'm interested in bullish prices. Okay, I'm going to take a micro long here. Break even will be right when we hit this level. We'll move our stop to break even fairly quickly. Stops at break even right now. Looking for these highs to be ran right now. So I move my stop to break even right there. I like that to happen. Just don't stop me out. It's really close to stopping me out. My entry is at 725. So it's actually closer to here is where my entry was. I didn't get the best fill. Target is this high right here. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that to me. It's a free trade. I just want that free trade to run. It's the macro time, so we have an opportunity. I'm going to sell one at this high again, targeting this high. One contract will be sold at this high here. Actually, I'm going to do it at this high right here. I'm going to do the lower high. In case it wants to change direct. Oh, you're going to stop me out now. Stopped out, guys. Son of a gun. That was a nice move. Just did not work out. That's why we move our stop to break even, to protect ourselves. Because that should have ran, to be honest. That should have ran. Let's see what the 30-second is again. Did we disrespect it? We haven't technically disrespected this 30-second that I was watching. Let's see where, there's the disrespect. So that would have been, our stop loss saved us. Our stop loss at break even saved us. Let's get through this macro, Adzi, and I'll answer your questions here. With this lack of running this high here, I see this is a nice run. That sucks, man. That was up. What was I up on that? Okay, it wasn't 16 handles at the highest. Okay. That's fine. I'm not going to take this. I'm saying it now. Main reason why is we should have ran it here. We could run it here, but we didn't grab any liquidity down here. So I'm not interested in this. It looks more honestly like a bearish breaker right here. Here's our potential stab at all this liquidity here. I like the idea of a 15-minute candle closing. I like the idea of the 15-minute candle. I know I talked about this, but let's assume we don't get this fair value gap here. I do like the idea of this 15-minute fair value gap being stabbed into. So grabbing these lows here to then push higher would be, I would like that. And I would ideally like it to happen in the first 5 minutes of the 15-minute candle. Because that means it could turn into a wick by going back higher, closing green on a 15-minute candle. Okay, so while we're sitting here, I don't think I'm not seeing anything right now, Edsy. I would like to try Apex, but what different accounts mean? I don't trade futures, only trade through CFD brokers. Okay. The different accounts is the size of account. The different accounts on Apex speak to the size of your drawdown that they allow. So if you have a 50K account, your drawdown is $2,500. If you lose up to $2,500, then you would lose that eval account and you'd have to pay another $30 for a new one, $37 for a new one. If you get a 100K account, well, that goes from $2,500 to like $3,500 that you have for drawdown. So it gives you larger latitude to have drawdown to be able to work yourself out. I only do the 50K accounts because those are what I'm comfortable with and I like. But you're trading a demo account with them and learning to and trading futures. So everything you're seeing right here, there's no difference for futures. Like it's the same click a button, make money. Click a button, lose money. So it's fairly straightforward. But you put a little more risk on the table by using their money, but less risk on the table from using your own personal account. And that's what I like about it. If you're here just to try to get it to pass just to blow accounts, then it's not for you. You would want to get one account and work on passing that account. Get a second account, work on passing that account. But not trying to, pass the account in a single try. That's not how you want to trade. So price is now turning into some consolidation. If it explodes higher from here, it can go without me. If it stabs down lower, I would be interested in it. What's rhythmic and the other one mean? Got it. So they have to work with future brokerage. And the two brokers they use that they give you the option to use is either Tradeovate or Rhythmic. I use Tradeovate. I have my personal accounts with Tradeovate as well. I like their platform. It's really straightforward. So you have options with that to pick the one that you want. There's no difference as far as cost or anything. Both are free. Both gives you free data. There's no other charges. They pay for everything in regards to the broker, and you trade on their account, their demo account. So if what I would do is get one and try just not one contract, but one eval account, $30, so you can get a feel for it. Go in small, go in with micro contracts, just so you can feel and get comfortable with it. It's the same. When I first started trading the Nasdaq, I got in with just a tiny micro account, and I'm like, man, look how fast this is moving. This is insane. Now it's just normal to me. So you'll just get more familiar with it as you trade it more, and you got to be careful by getting comfortable because you end up taking bigger losses, and that's what happened to me when I first started. All right, so see how this candle really gave us a large candle, and we're thinking, oh man, it's gonna go, and then it stops right here. It may go, it may not. It's 11 o'clock right now. So this is the time for it to rock and roll. There's not any entries. You see how congested that is? Look at those wicks on the 4-minute. I'm not trading this. I'm going to exercise discipline and sit out and wait till we stab into this 15-minute. If we stab into this 15-minute before we hit these equal highs, I'm interested in a long. I'd say today was overall a great trading day. I took 2 trades, each for about 20 handles. Great day. That's all we need, and we should be done. So 20 handles. I mean, the thing that we have to be careful about, and the Lord was convicting me on this, and I know not everybody here may have the same beliefs as me, but the principle is still the same, so you're here, so I'm going to share it, is the Lord was convicting me on being content with what he gives me. Being content to receive from the Lord what he has for me that day. And there's a fine line between receiving and then becoming waiting and wanting to get more. And you find yourself taking other trades because for example, price is going to hit this equal high. I know it. I'm so convinced on it. How do I get in to actually capitalize on it? And the Lord was convicting me that I was being greedy, that I was having selfish ambition, that I wasn't being patient waiting for the profits that he has for me. So I'm going to be done for the day. Trading wise, I'm okay doing an eval account. 100% okay with doing that. But we're going to log out on my personal and my performance accounts, and we will open up my eval. All right. So my eval is open right now, and that's the only type of trade I will take is eval. Aim for 0.5% a day. Dude, you do that, and that's great. The thing you got to be careful about is if you're shy of that number and you force a trade, it can be it can actually cause destruction. Yep, PPI and CPI should be good trading days. Today is a no news day, so I'm going to be content with what I have. You get trades like that. So being a no news day, I are already sized down. So when I size down and then you get, 40 handles of a move, you're like, man, I know what that number could have been and what that number could have looked like. I wish I was in a higher. That's the stuff you got to avoid. You have to avoid falling for that crap because that's how you get caught up in wanting to take unnecessary trades. All right, so there's our equal highs, folks. There is our equal highs that we called from way down. How many handles away did we call that? I told you down here, if we get a 5-minute change in state of delivery, we would probably run these equal highs here, this high, and then if we had the momentum, it would be this high. So we called that with how many we had a lot of handles on that bad boy. I was probably somewhere around here that I was then calling it. So 153 handles. But we didn't have an entry till about here. So if we would have gotten in, we got in around here. If we didn't get stopped out, that would have been 110 handles. Next level I'm looking at is this 4-hour fair value gap to the upside. But I do have this inversion fair value gap marked out. I would be treating this as an inversion gap. I would not be looking at a long here, coming in here, finding support and moving higher. I'm looking at this already as it's going to be violated and close below it to target these relatively equal lows down here. That's a tall order right there, Adzi. That's a tall order. There's a lot of room. Really, before I make a call on that, there's two levels that I'm watching. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but let me remove some. This daily order block. The daily order block, I want to see how price reacts to that level. And then we have this previous week low from 2 weeks ago. I want to see how we handle that. Do we just do an automatic rebalance or do we push through that? Those are those two things I need to see. Technically, we could go all the way up to here, 19,510, and still be bearish. In my opinion. That's not. This is, though, my biggest one. I want to see how I react to this order block. And this weekly. We got a lot of stuff in here that we need to see price react to before I make the conclusion we're going to reach for all-time highs again. Yeah, I'm not making an assessment either way. But when I look at gold, I've looked at gold and silver. I think there's still some downside that in gold and silver for it to reach to. I would like this to close green. This would be an order block, a bearish order block, and then we close below it, closing below this 1 minute. I would really like that. Okay, so there's our There's a 1 minute order block. Let's see if price closes below this. Closed above here. Not looking at longs because we hit this equal high. These were my higher time frame targets. So if we hit these higher time frame targets, I honestly would be looking for a reversal for a lower move. If we don't get it, yeah, then I think there's a higher probability we go higher. Or higher probability we may reach all-time highs. But I'm not calling none of that right now. Four hour. On the 4 hour time frame, this is a daily. I still have my daily order blocks are green. So any green lines you see on my chart are daily. Any red lines on my charts are weekly. And anything below that tends to be black. I do a teal for 5 minute and a blue for the hourly and a purple for the 15 minute. Those are my color coordinations. Here's a rejection block right here. Order block, the body's closed inside of this wick at the equal highs. Now I'm looking at this to be violated. I'm not going short on that one. I'd be going short on this one because the reason for that is this is the fair value gap that priced found support in. If we're going to go short here, there's a chance that it may not reach here because it already found resistance here. So if we're going to go short, we want to go short on the breaking of the fair value gap that had the support, I should say. The support, not the resistance. I have this 30-second mark just to see where the 30-second closes as well. See what I mean? It looked as if this was going to close. It didn't. It looked like it was going to run lower, and it didn't. So this is why we choose this one over this one. I really would like to figure out a way to put some music on my stream. I think I'm going to figure that out because I don't like sitting in silence. I'd rather have a little beat going on. Either way, guys, I think I'm going to call it a day. It's 11:17. We're past the macro time. It's a 50-50 chance if I'm going to be on stream tomorrow. We'll see. I normally lead a real estate networking group, so we'll see if I'm going to be here or not. If I can be and I can have somebody cover for me, I will be here live. If not, I will see you guys Wednesday. Wednesday would be for sure. But other than that, good trading day. Use the discount code above for Apex. It is, whether you're using somebody else, this stream's free, so only thing I ask is you guys use that code. Like Interstellar said, someone else like this video, this live stream. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you already use Apex, the only thing I ask is use the code DTJ. If you already use Apex. If you don't and it's not your thing, I'm not asking you to start using it at all. Just if you already use it, consider using DTJ. I did get confirmed. It will always provide the best and most up-to-date discounts that they're providing. So you can pop that in and see what kind of discount. Right now, it's still at 80% discount for you for all the different, whether you're looking at ADZ, whether it's Trade of 8 or Rhythmic, it's all going to be the same. So check those out. Until tomorrow, guys, God bless you, and we'll talk.